All right, so another day, another chance. It's chapter 9 on life and death of an object. So this pretty much covers how objects are created and destroyed, the stack versus heap, constructors and super constructors, scope and null references. Let's also experience how the garbage collector, reclaims memory from abandoned objects once nothing references them anymore. So that's pretty much, the summary for like chapter 9. So on to the next person to begin reading, glossing over the files.
Java, they reference variables that can point to the honey object. With the public honey, it's a null until assigned, and they could have the constructor that runs automatically whenever a kit object is created with the public kit. And then if we go over to Raccoon Java, they have the reference variable that can point to the honey object, public honey RH, and then they have the same local point kit object that is the public kit RK, and that is the default value in the null until the kit object is assigned. And they have the constructor, and they run automatically whenever a new raccoon object is created, and they display a message showing that the raccoon object has been successfully created with system.out.println raccoon object created. So now handing it over to Latabo to do honey.
Okay. Just a question. Why don't you guys share your screens?
Honey, right?
Just a question.
This will demonstrate how object references work in Java. So this will be an example of how an object is not garbage collected as long as another object still holds a reference to it. Okay, so going into our honey. So our public honey, right? It's a constructor. This will be a method which is automatically called whenever a new honey object is created. So once we call that new honey object, so it will say with the system out print line, honey object created. Then we will display a heading on the output when it's easier to follow. So with the system print line, it will say start programming. Then when we create a new honey object, right, we'll use the variable honey part, which will store a reference to this object. So using honey part equals to new honey. Then we will need to create an array that contains the 4 references. So all the 4 positions point to the exact same honey object, and there will not be any other additional honey objects that will be created. So we'll have our honey square brackets HA equals to, in the curly brackets, 4 honey parts. Then it will use a system out print line, which will say, okay, for the number of honey of the honey array with 4 references to the same honey object, so it will print out 4 times. Then we create a new honey, a new kit object. Then for that, we'll be using our honey object to store inside the kit object, and now both honey part and kit honey point to the same honey object. So kit honey equals to honey part. Then we'll print that out, saying kit now references the honey object depending on how many times. Then create our new raccoon object. Then what we're going to be using this for is that we'll give the raccoon reference to the honey object. So both raccoon.rh and honeypot refer to the same honey object. So raccoon.rh equals to honeypot. And then for raccoon.rk equals to kit. What this will do is that it will give the raccoon a reference to the kit object. So this means that the kit object now has two references, one for the local variable kit and two raccoon rk. So we'll print out raccoon references the honey object, and also raccoon also references the kit object. Then when we want to remove the local references to the kit object, we use kit equals to null. So what this will do is that the variable kit no longer points to the kit object, so it will print out setting kit equals to null. Then afterwards it will print out kit is no longer garbage collectible, and reason RK still references it. Then at the end we'll print out end of main. So when we run the program, from my side I'm already running it. As you can see, starting program, honey object created honey array with 4 references to the same honey object, kit object created, kit now references the honey object, raccoon object created, raccoon references the honey object, raccoon also references the kit object, setting kit equals now kit object is not garbage collectible, reason raccoon rk still references, then we're at the end of main. And yeah, that's it for chapter 9.
No problem. Thank you. Have a nice day.